crispy pillows. So beautiful. Welcome to Next Level Kitchen, where the mentors of Next Level Chef are giving you tips, tricks, and delicious recipes to make your food at home even better. And today, I'm putting the challenge to myself to make a dish that is easy, but most importantly, full of ingredients I promise you can find anywhere. It's a delicious gnocchi. Watch carefully, because between you and I know Richard Blaze is going to steal this recipe for his team next season. That way, he may bag a win. Right, start off with baked potatoes. Even if you're not doing it on the day, baking them in advance, sticking them in the fridge, it doesn't matter. My baked potatoes are literally in the oven. So, the beauty of this is the flavour from the gnocchi is in the bacon of the potato, okay? First off, we're going to just lightly peel these, okay? And if they're baked nicely, they should literally just peel. But cut them in half, okay? I'm going to sort of scrape out the potato, and then we're going to use what they call a ricer. It's this here. And basically, you stick the potatoes in there and push them through. If you haven't got a ricer, a grater is also effective, okay? Literally, get a spoon. Now, get the potato into there, okay? Save those skins, by the way, okay? Sometimes they're great for loaded baked potatoes as well. And then, literally, the spoon just sits in there. And these are great, especially, it's easy to bake a potato. Save those skins, do not throw them away, okay? Now, from there, lightly season it, touch of pepper and a touch of salt. And now, we're gonna start ricing. So, we season the potato, and you'll see now how putting it in the ricer makes it nice and fluffy. Look, in she goes, there. And honestly, if you haven't got a ricer, a grater, you know, on the small side is just as effective. And all it's doing is pushing it through these tiny little holes, and it creates a lot of air, which makes the potato nice and fluffy and smooth. That way, we haven't got any lumps. So look, beautiful. Now, this is a great way of making mashed potatoes as well, by the way, okay? These ricers are incredible. So in, we've seasoned it. It's nice and light and fluffy. And then just scrape off that excess. Now, just make a little well in the middle. Get an egg. And just crack that egg into the bowl. And then whisk that up. Now, I got my baked potato, egg, salt, pepper in there. Now we're going to start seasoning this with some ricotta. Now, I've dried the ricotta so it's not too wet, okay? So just squeeze that in between a paper towel and literally get rid of any excess water. In. And then from there, put in 2/3 of the egg, okay? And just start binding this. Now, mix that ricotta through first, okay? Don't overmix it, because it sort of tends to break up the ricotta. And I want the ricotta flecks running through the gnocchi. You can see that evenly mixed. And now we're going to start sprinkling just some really nice 00 flour. And this is what really helps to give the colour on the gnocchi. And all we're going to do now is bring it together like a really nice, almost like a sort of pasta dough texture. From there, take our little sprigs of thyme, hold them upside down, and just pull off these beautiful little flowers. And that's going to make the gnocchi really nice and fragrant. And we're not going to blanch this gnocchi, we're going to saute it. The potatoes are already cooked, as you know, and so by literally sauteing the gnocchi, we're going to get all that really nice colour and just strip these beautiful stems of that fresh, delicious thyme. Now from there, once you've bound all that together, just make sure it's sort of pliable. And you want it almost not too wet, but you want it sort of almost like a dough. Let that rest for 5 minutes. And look at your fingers, make sure your fingers are nice and clean. That's an indication that the dough's not too wet. Therefore, when we start to roll and manipulate the gnocchi dough, it won't stick to the board. Now, once this dough has rested, okay, lightly flour the surface, okay? Lightly flour your hands, and then from there, got this beautiful big roll. I'm gonna start off and roll this down. Now, I quite like a sort of nice thick texture on the gnocchi, okay? Don't over flour the board, and just roll it out like a big fat cigar. And you can see once it's rested, what happens now is that it shapes beautifully. If we went to making it so quickly, then it just retracts. As I'm rolling it, it stays out like this. And then, look, I'll just roll that nicely, lift that up there, and then just sort of one through. Don't have to be too exact with this. It's a delicious home dish, okay? So don't get het up about making them all exact. Lightly season your little paddle, get your thumb. You can either go with your thumb and push your thumb through the gnocchi, like that, or just roll and just come round. I prefer this way, because those little lines get that really nice colour in the pan. Again, just keep your fingers nice and floured. Push in and let it curl back down. It's a really nice way of sort of showing off what you can do with a leftover baked potato. Again, round. I've got ricotta cheese in here, but honestly, you can put any form of cheese in these potatoes. It's just a really nice way. And so it's sort of gnocchi done almost like a little cavatelli. And so there's multiple ways of doing this. And look, from 1, 2 potatoes, the yield is incredible. Let that board do the work, push down, and then bang. And these are perfect for a great dinner party because they can just sit there, dry nicely, room temperature, and then when you come to soak them, they get really nice and crispy. So pan, nice and hot. This dish moves fast now because that's the majority of the work done. So I've got my fresh peas, I've got my pecorino, a little bit of lemon, and some fresh, delicious pesto. Now, the nice thing about this dish, you can actually use pesto that is store-bought. They're making amazing pesto now, or make your own fresh. Basil, I'm gonna get everything ready so when I start cooking, there's no interruption. I always go for the biggest leaf first, and then I sort of get a little handful of baby leaves. I get my big leaf, I tuck the small leaves in, and then the biggest leaf, I wrap up all that basil, open that up, and so everything just sits on my board ready. You don't start cooking gnocchi and then look for your basil. Just roll that nice and tight, a la Snoop Dogg, and then let the knife do the work, and just slice through the basil once, so the goodness stays in the herb, not on the board. And that way we haven't got a damp patch of green flavors in there. Now for the exciting part. Start off with a little touch of olive oil first. Get that really nice and warm, okay? I love this dish with fried eggs as well. Fried eggs and gnocchi with some delicious feta crumbled over the top is delicious. Now, as it starts to get hot, you can just test it with one. You can start seeing them fry now. In we go, 2 or 3 at a time. I like to put them with the rivets down first, okay? And you'll see that nice, crispy texture taking place. Traditionally also, especially in France, they blanch their gnocchi in water. I'm not a big fan of that because it washes the flavor away. This potato goes really nice and crispy, especially in this pan. So, down first, okay? Up with the gas. I'm gonna give them a little season again. Touch of salt again. Little touch of pepper, okay? And now, it's where the flavor really starts to go up a level. We'll start putting little bits of butter around the outside of the pan. As you can see, I'm not gonna toss them yet till I've got all that color on there. And this butter really helps that sort of nut brown flavor in the potatoes. And that beautiful thyme inside really does give it a nice lift. Roll them around gently, and then get your spoon and just start flipping them over now. If the pan's moving too hot, just take it off the heat. And now we can start. You hear that scraping noise. That's how crisp they are. So delicious. And then just turn them over. You can smell that ricotta now and those thyme flowers. So beautiful. Crispy pillows. They're starting to puff up as well. And now we're going to start building the flavour. My fresh peas go in. Beautiful. Fresh basil going to go in over. That's the noise you want to hear. And then finally, my beautiful pesto. Be quite generous with the pesto. I don't want it saturated. Now, because the gnocchi's nice and crispy, okay, it will take the pesto. If you don't get that crispiness on the gnocchi, you're in trouble. And now it's coming together beautifully. Again, touch of seasoning, touch of pepper, and this is where we bring a little bit of acid to the flavour. Lemon zest first. Over, tap, 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 and then, literally, seconds before it comes out of the pan, fresh lemon juice, over. This stops the butter from going too dark. And now, we are ready. Beautiful. It smells incredible. Off with the gas. It's such an elegant way of using the sort of humble leftover baked potato. We've got this amazing crispy texture. And look, a fried egg on top of that, honestly, delicious. And then again, just get your lemon and literally go over. And then finally, just a hint of extra virgin olive oil over. And it just gives that nice little richness. And then get your pecorino and just hit it nicely. And that gives it that sort of extra layer of salty, crispy cheese. And there you go, delicious potato gnocchi with fresh peas, lemon, and pecorino. Richard, I hope you're watching. Now, thank you so much for watching Next Level Kitchen, and don't forget to subscribe for more amazing videos.